All this ice cream that I made for my brother, that he is not. I made him some pudding pops, or tried to, and he started eating them in his middle of the night cravings thing spree. And they weren't quite ready. Now I will admit that I probably should have mixed my dry ingredients a little more thoroughly. And so he was like, I don't, they don't taste right or whatever. And so I don't think he'll eat those. I still have the rest of them at my place, but as I made more ice cream today, strawberry lemonade, that's what I called it, and he says, oh, it sounds good. I was like, so yeah, so I showed it to him, but I said, it's still not freezing hard yet, so you can't have it. All right, so I literally started work on a video in the apartment, and he showed up, and I was putting his pills in for the week and telling you what happened yesterday. And so yeah, yesterday he called 911 again because he had toe pain. And yeah, I was not happy about that. But anyway, let's jump to I left the apartment, and I talked to the EMTs and all that other stuff, and they left, and I was just like, I'm so sorry, apologetic, and all the things. And I keep putting this in the back of my mind and being like, feeling guilty or whatever, but I really do need to find a place for him that has an on-call medical team, like at least a nurse somewhere. Because the thing is, I just looked at his foot, and that's another thing. So I just looked at his foot. So yeah, some of the things are, but he has a low tolerance for pain. And if he just got off his foot and stopped moving around so much, but then again, that's the byproduct of his illness, where he's restless and he can't help it sometimes. So it is, it's I can see how it could be torturous, slightly torturous. So I just put on some medicated bandages to his toe. I told him that ballerinas have jacked up feet, which they do, which I've learned over the years. Dancers, some of them, we got jacked up feet, honey. We got to learn how to take care of them. So I wrapped up his two toes, actually, say two on one side, and then the other side, I forgot that there was more damage on that side too. But anyway, so I wrapped up his toes, and he was like, oh yeah, it feels a lot better. I was like, yeah, you could have been using this. He was already here in the apartment. So part of, I don't know what it is, a part of his illness that makes him unmotivated to the point where I kind of have to do the extra step of doing the thing for him. Because either he's afraid to try something and it's not going to look right because he has done those things. Things like, okay, I'm trying to think of something simple. He has, and he still does this, and I guess this is a guy thing anyway. He's like putting food on a paper towel and putting it in the refrigerator when there's bowls, right? I think that's a guy thing, quite honestly. So he tends to do things and forgets to do certain things, like turn off the stove, or luckily he has not left water running. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is because my mom is starting to have mental decline, and she's twice our age. But she is on nootropics, so she's been doing her homework. I'm gonna just tell you now. She knows the deal. She's been on it. She's been on it for herself, and she's been taking care of herself, asking me for that advice. At first, I promise you, 3 years ago, she said, I told her about mushrooms, and she was like, I hate the taste of mushrooms. I hate them. Now she's texting me like, can you order me some of these lion's manes mushrooms and cordyceps and all the things and the reishi? And I was like, you're an expert on mushrooms now? So it's not impossible. You gotta have that final piece that I like to say, the growth mindset. Like, you can provide people with all the tools in the world, but they have to believe that it's going to happen for them. And like I said, my mom, she was a believer at first. She was just like, yeah, whatever. But then she started doing the reading, and then she started to realize, like, listen, I got to do something. So she's been on her lion's mane, and I think she likes it because, like I said, she's now reordering it and stuff, and she keeps it together without all of that. And I kind of want to educate my brother in the same way. It's like once you empower yourself on your illness or whatever, you can be more, even more independent. And he's fiercely wanting to be independent. That's yet another reason why I got the separate apartment. Um, but he's got to work towards it, work towards maintaining some like level of health. And that's kind of what I was telling him while we were out today. It's like, because he had asked me, so this is what I mean by he's talking more, because when he is not well and he is not in his executive functioning state, he's doing more things like asking for food that I already have, or money, or buy me these things. Not in a mean way, but it's almost like he's childlike. And yeah, then that's the simple thing. And then then there's other things, but that's the baseline. Like he'll be like, he has no idea of what's going on, and or he's asking me to buy him things and all the whatever. But yeah, today, after I gave him the NAC this afternoon, which normally I was giving him in the mornings because I needed him to have some executive functioning while I'm not around because I'm at work, I got to see it. And like I said, he started engaging me in conversation and having asking questions. He even did the calculations because I keep telling him that yes, you've been in Birmingham for a certain number of years. He did that today for himself. He was like, yeah, I was living in Birmingham for like 20 years, and this like in 2020 was a big thing. And I was like, yeah, 2020 messed up a lot of people, a lot of people. Okay, so I'm just trying to get him up to speed on a lot of things as much as I can. And he also admitted to being forgetful. That's actually big because up until now, he's been saying, making every excuse under the sun about why something is not happening a certain way. He's like, oh, I'll just tell you this. The last time, not yesterday, when he called 911 and I had to go get him from the hospital and they released him, and he was walking around on the streets of Atlanta and he does not know like a lick of where he's going. I'm sure they told him to go right. He went left. And then when I finally got him on the phone, he was like, they led me astray. I was like, no, they did not. They did not lead you astray. You know, they did not lead you astray. Hmm. I'm not sure who this person is. Let me, sometimes wearing glasses. Like and I also noticed too that I might need a less strong prescription of glasses at this point because I've been doing my things, and maybe I'll talk about them. Okay, so you're saying what can, yes, I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Yes. Anyway, so he is more talkative. I really want him to see that he can live here in this city. I think a lot of it was just a lot of fear where he was like, I don't know, like I want to go back to Birmingham and stuff, but Birmingham was a dumpster fire for him. Okay, so he needs to start anew. And this town is awesome. It's so many opportunities. He can enjoy life, instead of whatever. What like he doesn't really know anybody in Birmingham. We do have family, but he doesn't reach out to them. Even right now, I struggle with him trying to engage me in conversation or calling. So that's why I'm saying he's talking now. um, and that's promising. That's good. So he is curious about getting another apartment. I think what he's looking at is the price. But I keep telling him, and this is why the conversation of like, you've been in Birmingham for 20 years. The price of apartments are like ridiculous, first of all. Second of all, if you're living in a metropolitan, and I had to explain what a metropolitan is, like the prices are higher, way higher than Birmingham. But quite honestly, I think all prices in housing right now in the United States is, like, again, ridiculous. And he does not understand the value of money. He thinks what he is getting through Social Security is a lot of money. I was like, you have no idea. And the process that it would take for him to get his own apartment in his name, he would never get an apartment. Okay, he would just never get one. He would never be able to get one. Um, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to also explain to him. But I am looking, but I'm looking for a place that will have, like I said, the healthcare support there on location, on campus. Hopefully, memory care. That's what I would prefer because he is losing his memory. Um, and he's in a new city. He does not know where he is. He has, like, seriously, I drive him around. He's like, he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know. Okay. So yeah, so that's where we are. But the NAC, I think it is working. So that's what I'm going to move forward to now. So I was giving it to him once a day. And in that other video that I just filmed, you saw or heard him come in. He even walked by me. And I was like, do you want to learn more about these supplements? And he's like, at first he said no. And then he's like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, yeah, so these are the things that are helping your brain. And he's like, helping my brain? Yeah. I was like, yes, it's helping your brain. So that's what I'm saying. I want to empower him, just like my mom, to make sure that what you're doing and being aware of what it is that's helping. And it's not, and I'm just be honest, it's not the medication. Okay. Where I'm trying to regrow some tissue, basically. And it's possible. Or restore some tissue or protect some tissue. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, so we talked a little bit. I looked at his foot and his super bunion, and I wrapped his foot because, I do that. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, so I'm gonna get you a podiatrist and all this other stuff because as a former runner, your feet are jacked up. I admit, your feet, they're jacked up. And then he was making some food, and I was like, yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. He seems a little bit more clear. Not a little bit. It was almost like a little switch that turned on. So it is that NAC. So I need to keep it on deck. It needs to be every day, twice a day if I can get it in him. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, I will. Thank you so much. Lloyd, I haven't heard from you in a while. How's it been? Methylene. I was looking into that too, but I don't want to overload with too many things at once because then I won't know exactly what's working. So I am trying a few, whatchamacallit, amino acids, but I really do believe that NAC is the game changer for right now. Because like I said, I gave him his afternoon medication. Then we went to like a little festival not too far away from where we live. And within like 40 minutes, he was himself. And I was like, that is amazing. You know? Oh, thank you. I do what I can. But yeah, so I don't know, even as like yesterday, he made me so mad, so angry. But even last night, I made a recording. Like it's a little too high tech. I'm gonna just be honest, y'all. I was meditating and floating high and listening to this one video from a doctor, and I was making these connections. I was like, yeah, that's what we need to do. Refill his tank with the hormones and biochemicals that he needs in his body because he's depleted. He's depleted of these things. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, what's going on? You've been working? Yeah. Life's been life. Yeah, so I think that's what mental illness is. Like, okay, the video, maybe I can link that video too. So I was watching it and I made an audio recording because I needed to keep track of what this man was saying and me reacting to it. So basically, of course, there's two factors to which a person might have a deficit, and I don't want to say mental illness because there's a range, a deficit in certain biochemicals in our bodies. One is genetic, the other is um, epigenetic, environment. Okay, so some could be just one, some can be the combination of both, you know? And I feel like in my brother's situation, it's a combination of both. Like I think he had like a genetic disposition to have this. That's why I just spoke about my mother, because some of the things, not a lot of them, some of the things that he's been doing, I recognize like decline in my mom, but then she quickly got on those nootropics, honey. Like I kept telling her, and then she started listening, and then she started taking them. So I was like, okay, we're getting there. So I want to introduce her. I want to introduce my dad to the NAC because he has COPD, and that would help him too. Okay, I'm trying to get him on. I'm trying to get everybody on it. So, um, I think the biggest killer moving forward in the next not decade, 100 years, probably decade too, is going to be some form of pollution giving us disease, okay, or some kind of ailment. It's going to be some form of pollution, okay. Right now it's metabolic, meaning it's the food. Next, it's going to be the environment, meaning global warming, some kind of pollution, things in the water, contaminants in the food, microplastics, too much estrogen. All of those are pollution, okay? So we got to guard ourselves. We really do. And that's my little, soapbox, speech right now. But yeah, that NAC. Whew. And yes, I will be definitely doing more research on the methylene blue, because what I really kind of also want to figure out is, are there other ways to consume NAC rather than in a capsule form? Will it degrade if I try to cook with it? Will it work if I can find some way to turn it into some kind of cream to put on your skin, like magnesium? Those are the things I'm looking into now. Okay. As I really feel like we can, or a spray, speaking of, maybe, because you can turn magnesium into a magnesium spray. I wonder. Yeah. So I really do feel like when it comes to mental illness, um, neurodivergent people, and then just basic like malnutrition. I keep saying this. Like, I really feel like mental illness and a lot of these neurodivergence is a form of malnutrition. And it is. Because if you don't have your biochemicals, what else could that be? But your lack of malnutrition is, you need it, right? All right, so the sun is set, and I definitely need to get in because using this light, I mean, my neighbors are cool, but I don't want me sitting here like this. All right, so thank you. Subscribe, tell your friends. Listen, I'm out here. I'm on a mission. I'm not trying to be all like fancy schmancy with my message here, recordings. Like, if anything, I'm just trying to document what I'm thinking, because a lot of the things are going so fast. A lot of my ideas and a lot of my wonderings are from day to day, from one thing to the next, and I'm just trying to keep track of it all. And if you're benefiting from that, I love that. I love it. I'm trying to find a way to organize it and make it consumable for everyone to understand, because we all need this. We all need this. Okay? So I'm a biohacker. I'm a sister, a daughter, an auntie. Okay? I'm out here trying to help my family. I hope that you can benefit as well. Take care.